In this video, I'm going to give you a preview of a very exciting project that is coming up in Woodlands, and it will be launched in June 2026. So this project has 640 units, but then the flat mix is very good because it will have a 2-room flexi, 3-room, 4-room, and also 5-room flat. In terms of the on-site facility, this project has a preschool, but then that's it. In terms of distance to MRT station, so if you look at the map, this project is basically in between Marsiling and also Woodlands. So according to Google Map, it is about 1.3 kilometers away from Marsiling and about 1.6 kilometers away from Woodlands. However, having said that, if you don't mind the distance to MRT station, you can simply just wait for the feeder bus. In terms of the project classification, because this project has a 5-room being offered and also 3-room, I am guessing that this will be launched as a standard project, which will be very exciting if you want a house in Woodlands that doesn't have a lot of restrictions. Now, let's talk about the location. So this is the map that HDB gave, and based on some other condo that they stated here, I think this is basically the land plot that they are talking about. This part, if we look at the HDB map again, it will be an upcoming proposed health medical center, proposed church, and also proposed park. So as you can see, this land plot is indeed a little bit far away from MRT station because Marsiling is over here, and then as you can see, Woodlands is over here. But then having said that, of course, you can always take a bus or ride a bicycle or something. Now, in terms of the surrounding, I just want to point out that indeed there is an expressway right behind the land plot. So if let's say you want to pick your unit later on, you would want to consider that there is an expressway over here. But having said that, beyond the expressway, as you can see, there's this vast greeneries, which means that if you are lucky enough to get a high floor, then you would have this very beautiful unblocked view towards the greeneries, which I think will be very serene and very soothing. Now, in terms of amenities, as you can see, the Woodgrove Mall is actually within walking distance. It's just over here. And then you also have other malls such as the Vista Point is over here. And then, of course, Causeway Point is just right over here. If we switch back again to the HDB map, as you can see, there are quite a lot of schools nearby. This will be very helpful, especially if you have young children. So quite a lot of primary school. And then also Singapore American School is over here. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because if indeed this project is only classified as a standard BTO, that means that after 5-year MOP, you will be able to rent out the whole flat after MOP. And if let's say you renovate your unit very nicely, you can even market it to some expats, because the reality is not all expats have big budget. Like some of them actually comes to Singapore under local package, or they have limited, financials. In terms of health facilities, I just want to point out that apparently the area actually going to have quite a lot of health and medical care facilities. So for example, there's a polyclinic here, which I know is further away, but then there will be also like another proposed health and medical care right over here, which is nearer. But then if you look at the map, the Woodlands Hospital is over here as well. So it's a short bus ride away, which is going to be good for you to live here in the long run. Now, if you are wondering where can you go for your day-to-day grocery shopping, so this is the land plot, and as you can see, there's a fair price here in the Woodgrove shopping mall, and of course there are some eateries inside the mall as well. Now, I want to also point it out that next to the land plot of this BTO, Woodgrove Edge BTO is currently under construction and it is scheduled to be completed in 2027, but it is a mega project. So it has 1,127 flats, which is quite a lot. But then this will be good for your future resale benchmark price later on, because the location is just next to it, right? Meaning that when you want to sell your flat later on, then the prices from Woodgrove Edge will also help you so that you can fetch higher price for your flat later on, assuming that you want to sell your flat sometimes in the future. Another thing that I want to point out, so this is the land plot, right, for this BTO. But then if you see right across it, seems like the building opposite it is like low-rise building, which means that hopefully if you can get high floor or medium floor, you will be able to get a good unblocked view even though you don't face the greeneries. So now let's talk about the pros and cons. What do I like about this project? Well, I think it has a strong resale potential, especially because it's located, nearer to Marsiling and Woodlands MRT station somewhat, instead of in Woodlands North. And then a lot of people also like Woodlands area itself. So I believe that the demand will continue to be strong. And then I also like that there are quite a lot of amenities nearby. So for example, the Woodgrove shopping mall is within walking distance. And then the HDB BTO next door, which is Woodgrove H BTO, has more amenities, so you can just use that. For example, they have an eating house, mini mart, several shops, etc. And then if you need healthcare facilities, there's an upcoming polyclinic next door according to HDB master plan, as well as Woodlands Hospital nearby. You can just take a bus. There's another polyclinic as well. Again, can simply take a bus. And then, of course, obviously, if you stay in Woodlands, you are relatively close to JB if you want to do affordable shopping. I also like that this project has wide selection of flat types from 2-room flexi up to 5-room flats. Another thing to appreciate about this project is that it comes with standard restrictions, so just the typical 5-year MOP. You can rent out the whole flat even after MOP, etc. Another thing that I appreciate is that there are quite a lot of schools nearby, so it will be very helpful if you have young kids. Another thing that I appreciate is that if we look at the map, there's this one side that will face a lot of greeneries, even though it will also face the expressway. But then if you get the top floors, then I think you can focus more on the greeneries and not so much being bothered by the expressway. And then on the other side of the plot seems to be surrounded by low-rise building. So I think if you are able to get high floors, then you will be able to have unblocked views. Okay, now what don't I like about this project? I think objectively, this project is far from MRT station. So as mentioned, Marsiling is about 1.3 kilometers away and Woodlands is about 1.6 kilometers away. But of course, you can always take a bus. Another bigger concern for most people is probably the expressway. Remember the part that I told you can see a lot of greeneries? So there's an expressway between this land plot and the greeneries. So if you can only get low floor or medium floor, then you will feel the impact of the expressway. Another watch out about this project is that I predict this project will have high application rate. Competition might be fierce because in general, Woodlands is very popular among Singaporeans. And then the amount of unit in this project is also kind of limited, so only 640, which is not that much. As mentioned earlier, usually if there's a BTO in Woodlands, it is being launched near the Woodlands North, but this one is closer to town. So I think this will be even more popular. Another thing that I don't like about this project is that it has limited on-site facilities. But then again, the HDB next door has more facilities like eating house, etc. So you can just walk over there. Another watch out is that I think this area actually has height restriction because Woodlands Grove BTO next door is only going up to level 16. So I'm assuming that this BTO also will be kind of short. So I think the highest would be level 16 or so. So yeah, that's the watch out. Another watch out about this project is I believe the price will be on the higher side because the lack of subsidy for standard flats. If you want to predict the price for this project, I think we can refer to Woodgrove Edge price. So I'm showing you the price, and Woodgrove Edge was launched back in February 2024. So indeed, it is already quite some time. So I believe the price will be higher for this project, but should not be that far off. So in summary, I think if you like the Woodlands area, this is your chance to get a flat nearer to the heart of the Woodlands town. I consider this is a rare chance because typically HDB tends to release land plot near the Woodlands North area, so the fact that this one is a little bit closer to the crowd is good. The project ticks a lot of boxes. For example, there are plenty of amenities nearby, a lot of school options, it comes with just the standard restrictions, etc. Now, price-wise, it is not the most affordable one, for sure, but it's not the most expensive either, so it's like somewhere in the middle. If you want something that is far more affordable, then you can consider Sembawang, but I think this one is still okay, especially if you don't mind taking feeder bus. This is the project for you. Now, if you are wondering how RTS will impact the future resale and rental price of the flat, please check out my other video as I am discussing it for members only. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.